New since 5, just how safe are your everyday conversations sent via text messaging?
Following a massive cyber attack in the U.S. yesterday, questions have been raised now about different apps for texting. WGEM's Zeke Shapiro is here now to show us if these different apps are safer than regular texting. Zeke?
So you've just sent a text to a friend. Well, congratulations. Your information is now available for hackers. But maybe you can protect yourself using a different app.
The more you have to lose, the more you could actually lose.
Over the last 2 days, American intelligence uncovered a massive cyber attack across the country. In response, the FBI released a statement urging smartphone users to start using what they call safer texting apps such as WhatsApp. It's begged the question, how safe is WhatsApp?
The reality is it's no more safe than iMessage or any of them. Like Yahoo Messenger is probably just as safe.
That's not great to hear. But what about those programs built to make your data protected?
All of it's hackable. All of it has entry points.
Using encrypted text messaging apps such as WhatsApp is like trying to protect yourself from a car thief. Sure, locking the front door is safe, but that doesn't mean it protects you from other methods. No matter what protections smartphone users want to take, there really is no way to stay truly protected.
Well, I use multi-factor authentication, stuff like that, so I figured it would be safer, but obviously there's ways to get around it for some people, and now it's definitely something to think about.
If you were to choose between regular texting and WhatsApp for communication, the experts do say that WhatsApp is safer due to the increased encryption of messages, but that by no means equals complete protection from hackers. Instead, experts say watch what you send because there's always a risk of it being taken.
If you're sending data that could really compromise you personally, then why are you sending it?
As I mentioned in the story, WhatsApp uses more encryption of users' messages. That means that their program makes it a lot harder to crack the code on every message that someone sends. However, J.R. Bareis did stress that nothing on a computer is safe from hackers. Daniel?
All right, thanks, Zeke. According to the Associated Press, the U.S. officials believe that the cyber attack may have come from China, although the Chinese embassy has denied those allegations.